Today, we want to tackle a very important issue, the security of our nation. We know that without safety, we cannot have a better or a good society because a good society is built on safety. And we know in Nigerian, both the president and the governor share a responsibility of protecting Nigerians. But with the happenings in the country, not just with this present government, previous, they have not been doing enough. Why is that so? The question we keep asking every now and then. Why is it that we vote people into power, they cannot protect us? What must we do? We're going to break it down because we know without security, we will not have economic growth because people will not be free to go to work. Investors cannot come and invest in a place where there is no security. Farmers, which is the major source of livelihood for rural communities, will be hampered. People will not be able to go to farm. And this will affect the economy because prices of goods will have to go up. How do they feed? And possibly there might be no trust in the future. We want to just look at the Constitution of Nigeria briefly because I want to dive more into this because of a few persons who we trust as, elders of the country, but sometimes they make statements that sometimes you will, for example, now, someone saying that the president has done his bit. When it is your duty to do something, don't tell us you've done your bit. You know what it entails before you said you want to become or you snatched power to become the president. So you must do your due diligence. This is the Constitution of Nigeria, Chapter 1 of Nigeria Constitution 1999, Section 5. I'll go by a year. Subject to the provision of this Constitution, the executive powers of the Federation A shall be vested in the president. Let's go to 2. Subject to the provisions of this Constitution, the executive powers of a state shall be vested in the governor of that state. Governor of that state. Now, it's like whether our political leader doesn't understand dangers of playing with insecurity, I really don't know. When they go for meeting, don't they discuss these colossal losses that insecurity brings to the nation and to their state? Imagine, lives have been lost. People lose their loved ones. Because victims, most of the time, they ask them to pay ransom. Most families run around to pay this ransom. Some are released. Some, the person who takes the ransom to them is held back in captivity. And sometimes the victim are not released. Even after paying ransom, they are still tied. They still unalive them. Subjecting the family, apart from the pain you've already subjected them to for not being able to speak with their loved one face to face, you end up taking their life. What is this called, for God's sake? And we know families have lost parents, children. Personally, I know a doctor who was kidnapped since 2 or 3 years ago. Nowhere to be found, nothing to be found about him. So many other persons. And these people are breadwinners of their family. Some are breadwinners. So what happened to their family? And we know without life, every other government policy become meaningless. Because who are you making policy for? Animals or object or the cars they leave behind? So there are so many dangers of insecurity that every government is supposed to take insecurity very, very serious. Economic decline. People can no longer go to their farms. Rural people cannot farm again. Losses. And about agricultural production too. Because some people can even still go to farm because of fear. They can no longer do the job effectively. Even regions where kidnapping has not even got into, there is already palpable fear among people. Unemployment. Most persons depend on this. There are some companies that, because of insecurity, have left some certain regions in the country. That is causing unemployment. The little employment that people are managing, then because of insecurity, the government is not responsible enough to curb spreading. Therefore, companies who cannot manage up with this will have to either fold or go. How about brain drain? Some few persons who have the resources, they've left the nation. They've gone, all called Jackba. The Jackba because that is the only way. Because safety and security is very important for everybody. Nobody wants to live in a place where there is trouble. Therefore, skilled people, human resources are leaving the nation to go to places, even when those conditions of those causes are not convenient. Yet, because of their safe, they prefer to go to that place, leaving family behind. And some persons that travel, I tell you the truth, their mind is still at home, but they cannot go. What many fear, trauma. Our children are still in the forest in the camp of kidnappers. The Oyo State kidnap children, school children. They are still in the den of kidnappers. About 2 months in the den, and it is raining heavily because we have the highest rainfall in June and July. Those children are there passing through unimaginable pain. The highest form of discomfort, far away from their homes. Governors are working freely. Some even go ahead to negotiate with bandits. Give them ransom. Government negotiate with terrorists. What do you expect terrorists to do? Because this Oyo kidnapping was not the first. Remember, it happened in Ilorin, it happened in Niger, it happened in Kebbi. So when the government is not doing enough, and we have the military, we have the DSS, we have the police, we have the civil defense, different security parastatals in Nigeria, yet we are unable to tame this wild beast. Nigeria, why? Why Nigeria? This is also leading to collapse of rural communities. They live in fear. They have to leave. This is uncalled for. It means traditional communities will eventually disappear if this is not addressed as fast as possible. If this is not addressed as fast as possible. It can even lead to growth in organized crime because community people will now be recruited because they need people to work with. You can imagine, as long as there is no employment for the people, it's easy to recruit them into something evil of this very nature. In short, I'm going to show you a video. Okay, we appreciate the governor of Edo State, even though in the time past I've criticized him because he made some statement that looked derogatory to the people of Edo State. I'm from Edo State. He was trying to politicize this whole issue while Oyo State happened. He said he categorically said that even if, like he was accusing opposition as those responsible for sponsoring banditry in Nigeria. Now you are the one in charge of power. You are accusing opposition. Use your power to tame those opposition and tame whoever, expose and bring them to law. Now this is what he said. He said even if they kidnap everybody in Edo State, they will still vote for Tinubu. This is politicizing the security of the people. It's uncalled for. But I want to appreciate him for what he did here. Listen to this video.
Yes. According to authorities, a 32-year-old suspect identified as Marvelous Isaac was arrested in connection with the abduction. Security operatives also disclosed that another suspect was killed during a gun battle that ensued when the criminals attempted to resist arrest. Items recovered from the suspects include a red Lexus RS 350 allegedly used in the kidnapping operation, a pump-action shotgun, live cartridges, a motorcycle, and more than 2 million naira believed to be proceeds from the crime, including ransom money reportedly paid by the victim's family. Security agencies say investigations are ongoing, with efforts intensified to apprehend other members of the kidnapping syndicate still at large. In recognition of the successful operation, Governor Monday Okpebholo presented a cash reward to the police officers involved in the rescue of the victim, commending their bravery and professionalism.
Terrible happened on Sunday, and I called the commissioner of police and I told him that whoever committed that crime of kidnapping inside Benin City must be arrested. Within 24 hours, those guys have been caught. Now we are going to set up a special court to try kidnappers and cultists. Within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, we are done with it. And I will sign it. Your execution, hanging, I will take you to the roundabout, that is Ring Road roundabout, so that the whole Edo people will see you.
In his comments, Commissioner of Police Monday Agbonika.
So this is what I call political will. In the past, I've criticized him, and I will still criticize him when it's not doing. But this, he has done noble. He has done noble, and I advise every other state governor to follow the same pattern. Never joke with insecurity. Never allow bad actors to destroy your state, destroy your reputation. Because anything happens right now is going to bring a bad image to you as the governor first. Then your people will lack no trust in you. So never joke with insecurity. So I'm so happy. You hear what he said. He's going to set up a court within 2 to 3 weeks. Matter will be finished and they will be hanged openly. Capital punishment to serve as deterrent to others who are planning or who are already carrying it out, who are still or who have already done it, planning to do as a deterrent. If you don't deter, it will grow. That is one thing about evil. If you don't deter it, it means it will grow. Here's another video of the same Edo State Police. This season they've been doing fantastic job. Another scenario again.
Okay, wait.
And efforts are ongoing to locate the...
This includes 32 suspects. In addition, fight against criminality, Senator Monday Okpebholo.
Okay, so you can see the Edo State Police Force is making us proud again. They're making us proud. Previously, they allowed these people to go scot-free. Even when you report a criminal case to them, they downplay it. Perhaps they tell you maybe there is no phone in their car. This is unheard of. When you are giving information that is supposed to act on it, they delay. And as a result, people who commit this atrocity would have gone far away from the scene. it becomes difficult to trail or trace them. So the issue is this: if criminal groups are not dismantled early, if these criminal group gangs are not dismantled early, they become more sophisticated. Think about Boko Haram. Boko Haram didn't start like this. Now, because we're playing hanky-panky with them, look at how sophisticated they've grown. With network, the same model, every other rising terrorist group will always adopt. If you don't knob them at the early stage, they end up becoming bigger and more sophisticated. Why they have to grow network. They may want to recruit informants. They go to a community, for example. Now maybe those from one region may want to go to the other region to go commit their crime. They won't just go there. They need people on ground to work with, informants. That is when the locals will be recruited. They can acquire better weapons. Imagine a kidnapper demanding 50 million per head of people kidnapped. 50 million. Multiply that by the number of people they've been kidnapping. This 50 million, there are many civil servants in Nigeria that in their 35 years of working for the government, they've not saved up to that. They've not earned up to that. Now, even the permanent secretary, based on their current salary rate, is around 7 million per annum. So it will take him 10 years to raise such amount. Assuming it's not even feeding, not doing anything. You can see how unreasonable this act is getting into. Demanding 50 million from Nigerians who barely are able to feed. No job, just living life. Because government is not even doing much for its people. Demanding this kind of large sum of amount from them. So they will establish their camps. If you don't knob this early, they will finance other crimes because they become like a syndicate. Then they will infiltrate legitimate businesses. So stopping them early. Stopping them early becomes more efficient than later. Later will become more difficult and more expensive. More difficult and more expensive. So to every security agent, security is not just merely the absence of crime. Know this. It's not just absence of crime. It is the foundation on which every successful nation is built. A nation without security is not a nation. Because what makes a nation becomes a nation is after you have a boundary, sovereignty, the next thing is you can secure your people. If you cannot secure your people, you are not a nation. If you call yourself a nation, please stand up to the task. Without security, remember, farmers in the rural area will not be able to go to farm. It will lead to a chain reaction, shortage of food, at the same time, maybe hike in price. Businesses cannot grow because nobody will go to invest in a place where there is insecurity. Investors cannot invest. Children will not be able to go to school. Look at our beautiful children, sons and daughters in the forest. Academic session is ongoing. Their learning has been truncated. Many things. Families live with fear. They can't travel, can't move, they can't do business. A nation that fails to protect the people will eventually struggle to achieve sustainable economic development. This is to our government. Know this. If you cannot protect your people, secure your people, economic progress becomes difficult. And if you want a better Nigeria, please focus on security. Leadership is tested not only governors, president listing, only way by the promises you made during the campaign, but the willingness to protect lives when danger arises. Nigerians are not asking for perfection. My dear governors, dear president, we are not asking for perfection. We are only asking for commitment, consistency, be consistent, and political will to confront criminality anywhere they exist. In your locality, in the capital city, wherever they exist, have the temerity to confront them. Every citizen, regardless of ethnicity, religion, or tribe, deserve to live, work, travel, do whatever they want to do that is within the legal frame of the state and the nation. Security should never be a partisan issue. Stop politicizing security. It is a foundation for which a better society is built or developed. Please improve your intelligence gathering. Currently, there are so many cases that government is not even maybe profiling of people kidnapped. In Edo North, there's a kidnapping. I'm not sure the government is even aware. They are demanding for 50 million from the person they kidnapped in Edo North. Make an inquiry. That is why you have the DSS. You are paying them. They should get this information. And that is why you have the chairman, you have the councillor. Councillor is supposed to report to your chairman. Chairman is supposed to report to the governor and to take proper action. This chain of coordination of governance, I'm not seeing it in effectiveness. Please beef up security gathering. Strengthen local policing. Thank God that the state is already, the federal government is about passing state policing. Please start organizing vigilantes in communities to safeguard their communities. When I was growing up in Edo State, we used to have what is called forest guard. Please, we need them. Foreigners have invaded our forest. Cattle rearers know our forest more than the community people. This is not supposed to be so. This ought not to be so. Please give back the forest back to the people. Employ forest guard to gather forest. If anything is happening in the forest, how will you know without a guard there? Now, security have even gone beyond even humans. How about mounting cameras? Let's also employ technology in fighting crime. Install security camera in strategic locations. This is not too difficult to ask for. You ask for a vote. You are the governor. You are the president. Please do this for us. Again, protect informants. Protect informants. Protect informants. People who give you information, protect them at all costs. If you endanger them, it means people will not give you useful information that you can use to apprehend these bad actors. Please, like as I said, use technology. Apply drones, mapping, and effective communication within security agents in order to track and trap these people quickly before they multiply or gain more influence. Increase prosecution, not just arrest. Prosecute quickly. Let it serve as a deterrent to others. Support victims after rescue. They need to be rehabilitated. For example, these children in the forest now, these are the leaders of tomorrow. What becomes of them? What becomes of them? Just think about it, Mr. Governor, Mr. President. If it is your child that is out there in the rain, in the sun, far away from home, will you still be comfortable at home? Will you still be proud to call yourself a father? I leave this out for you to think. Crime organizations survive by building local support network. Some collaboration involve, they give participants money because there is no employment. Some even out of fear. Some because they believe criminals cannot be defeated. You see, Nigerians are even lacking trust already for the government, towards the government. Government, you need to do something to gain back people's trust. The people don't trust our government again because they don't know whether you can protect them. Note, every day, every week, every month that passes without a decisive action increase the risk that this network become more deeply rooted. They say to be forewarned is to be from harm. Please like our video. If you like what we are doing here, comment, make your contribution, and share. Thank you very much for listening. We'll meet some other time.